A recent count on Longwood Avenue found that 39% of the peak hour traffic was bicycles. Yet the street has no bike lanes. Most of it has 3 lanes for cars, either one per direction plus turn lanes, or 2 lanes in one direction and 1 lane in the other. Because the street is narrow, it's natural to ask, if space were devoted to bike lanes, would it still be able to carry the traffic it carries today? This traffic simulation shows what traffic would look like if Longwood Ave had bike lanes. Traffic volumes in this simulation are from a weekday morning peak hour in October 2016. Continuous bike lanes have been marked on both sides of the street, yet traffic flows smoothly without any serious backups. Between signalized intersections, it's easy to see that 1 lane per direction is sufficient for cars, leaving enough space for bike lanes without harming traffic at all. In this simulation, the small white vehicles near the curb are bikes. The busiest intersection is at Brookline Avenue. The signal cycle there is 120 seconds long, with 25 seconds devoted to an all-pedestrian phase. Finding space there for bike lanes means giving up an existing left turn lane. That lane isn't well used. On average, only 2 or 3 cars turn left per cycle. But if cars waiting to turn left frequently block the only lane, that would cause a disastrous backup. The solution is to make the approach a little wider than usual by shifting the yellow dividing line a bit to one side. That's called a flare. If the combined width of the travel lane and the bike lane is 18 or 19 feet, that's enough for a left-turning car to stand waiting near the yellow line while other cars pass by on the right, partly using the bike lane. Informal flares like the one we propose are common. Drivers often use shoulders, parking lanes, and bike lanes to get past a waiting car. An informal flare like this won't work if the left turn volume is high, but when it's only a few cars per cycle, an informal flare will work fine, just as it does half a mile away in Brookline at the corner of Longwood Ave with St. Paul Street, or on Mission Hill at the corner of Tremont Street with St. Alphonsus, or at hundreds of other locations we drive through every day. Watch how it works here. When a car is waiting to turn left and the bike lane is empty, other cars shift over to the right and pass by the waiting car. With this solution, traffic remains fluid. Pedestrians still have an all-ped phase, cars get enough time to pass, and now it's safe for bikes too. At the next 2 intersections, the signal cycle has been shortened from 120 seconds to 60 seconds, which means less delay for pedestrians and less need to store a lot of cars in a long queue. And a leading pedestrian interval makes it easy and safe for pedestrians to cross Longwood Ave. Some of the approaches are wide enough to have both bike lanes and turn lanes. The one that doesn't has an informal flare. At Avenue Louis Pasteur, where there's no traffic light but only a stop sign, 1 lane per direction is enough. Again, the yellow dividing line isn't quite down the middle of the road, it's offset to one side, creating an informal flare that keeps left-turning cars from blocking the road. Approaching Huntington Avenue, eastbound traffic needs 2 lanes for capacity, so the bike lane widens and becomes a shared lane shortly before the intersection. The short length of this shared lane, about 8 car lengths long, makes it safe for bikes whether they arrive on red or on green. Here's what the busiest intersection looks like after simulating 30 minutes of peak hour traffic. Traffic is still fluid, even though we've taken space on both sides of the road to make bike lanes. If adding bike lanes to Longwood Avenue meant backups that clog the roads, preventing patients and ambulances from getting to hospitals, that would be a tough sell. But with some careful engineering, Longwood Avenue can provide a safe place for bikes while still fulfilling its function for cars, ambulances, and buses. Bike lanes on Longwood Avenue. It's a choice that works and a choice that's safe. For the main street of a medical area, that sounds just right.